Enough, by Suzanne Buffum. I am wearing dark glasses inside the house to match my dark mood. I have left all the sugar out of the pie. My rage is a kind of domestic rage. I learned it from my mother, who learned it from her mother before her, and so on. Surely the Greeks had to work for this. Now surely the Germans do. The more words a person knows to describe her private sufferings, the more distantly she can perceive them. I repeat the names of all the cities I've known and watch an ant drag its crooked shadow home. What does it mean to love the life we've been given? To act well the part that's been cast for us? Wind, light, fire, time. A train whistles through the far hills. One day, I plan to be writing it.
The Mortician in San Francisco by Randall Mann. This may sound queer, but in 1985 I held the delicate hands of Dan White. I prepared him for burial. By then, Harvey Milk was made monument, no, myth, by the years since he was shot. I remember when Harvey was shot, 20, and I knew I was queer. Those were the years, Levi's and leather jackets, holding hands on Castro Street, cheering for Harvey Milk, elected on the same day as Dan White. I often wonder about Supervisor White, who fatally shot Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Milk, who was one of us, a Castro queer. May 21st, 1979, a jury hands down the sentence. 7 years, in truth, 5 years for ex-cop, ex-fireman Dan White, for the blood on his hands when he confessed that he had shot the mayor and the queer. A few men in blue cheered. And Harvey Milk? Why cry over spilled milk, some wondered, semi-privately, for years. It meant one less queer. The jurors turned to White. If just the mayor had been shot, Dan might have had trouble on his hands. But the 12 who held his life in their hands maybe didn't mind the death of Harvey Milk. Maybe the second murderer offered him a shot at serving only a few years. In the end, he committed suicide, this Dan White, and he was made presentable by a queer.
Windy City by Stuart Dybek. The garments worn in flying dreams were fashioned there. Overcoats that swooped like kites, scarves streaming like vapor trails, gowns ballooning into spinnakers. In a city like that, one might sail through life led by a runaway hat. The young scattered in whatever directions their wild hair pointed and, gusting into one another, fell in love. At night, wind-rippled saxophones that hung like wind chimes in pawnshop windows, hooting through each horn, so that the streets seemed haunted, not by nighthawks, but by doves. Pinwheels whirled from steeples in place of crosses. At the pinnacles of public buildings, snagged underclothes, the only flag, flapped majestically, And when it came time to disappear, one simply chose a thoroughfare devoid of memories, raised a collar, and turned his back on the wind. I closed my eyes and stepped into a swirl of scuttling leaves.
I Have a Time Machine by Brenda Shaughnessy. But unfortunately, it only travels into the future at a rate of 1 second per second, which seems slow to the physicists and to the grant committees, and even to me. But I managed to get there, time after time, to the next moment, and to the next. Thing is, I can't turn it off. I keep zipping ahead. Well, not zipping. And if I try and get out of this time machine, open the latch, I'll fall into space, unconscious, then desiccated. And I'm pretty sure I'm afraid of that. So I stay inside. There's a window though. It shows the past. It's like a television or a fish tank. Sometimes, like a rearview mirror, another chance to see what I'm leaving behind. And sometimes, like blackout, all that time wasted, sleeping. Myself, age 8, whole head burnt with embarrassment at having lost a library book. Myself, lurking in a candled corner, expected to be found, charming. Me, holding a rose, though I want to put it down so I can smoke. Me, exploding at my mother, who explodes at me because of the explosion of some dark star, all the way back, struck hard at mother's mother. I turned away from the window, anticipating a blow. I thought I'd find myself an old woman by now, traveling so light in time, but I haven't gotten far at all. Strange not being able to pick up the pace as I'd like. The past is so horribly fast.
The Albatross by Kate Bass. When I know you are coming home, I put on this necklace. Glass beads on a silken thread, a blue that used to match my eyes. I like to think I am remembering you. I like to think you don't forget. The necklace lies heavy on my skin. It clatters as I reach to lift my screaming child. I swing her, roll her in my arms until she forgets. The beads glitter in the flicker of a TV set as I sit her on my lap and wish away the afternoon. I wait until I hear a gate latch lift, the turn of key in lock. I sit amongst toys and unwashed clothes. I sit and she fingers the beads until you speak in a voice that no longer seems familiar, only strange. I turn as our child tugs at the string and I hear a snap and a sound like falling rain. Now I Pray by Kathy Engel. Ashen face, wool hat bobbing, the young boy's eyes dart to me, then up at the man pulling a rolling suitcase, whose hand he holds, then back at me. His legs move as if without gravity. The man asks, "Do you know a church on this street that serves free food?" I want to say I know. That the names of churches on an avenue called America's roll out of me. I want to tell you it is temporary, their condition. Suitcase, darting eyes, seeking free food at 9 p.m. in a big city on a school night. I want to tell you, I don't for a moment wonder if that is really the boy's father, or uncle, or legitimate caretaker. Something in the hand-holding and eyes, having watched too many episodes of Law and Order. I want to tell you I take them to a restaurant and pay for a warm meal, or empty my wallet, not worrying how offensive that might be, because in the end, hunger is hunger. I want to tell you I call someone who loves them, that there is someone, and say, your guys are lost. Can you come? I want to tell you I sit down on the sidewalk at the corner of Waverly and pray, that all passing by, anonymous shoes marking the pavement, join in a chorus of prayer, humming like cicadas in the Delta. I want to tell you the boy and the man eat food encircled by the warmth of bodies. I want to turn the cold night into a feast. I will tell you, I am praying.
The Man with Night Sweats by Tom Gunn. I wake up cold. I who prospered through dreams of heat wake to their residue. Sweat in a clinging sheet. My flesh was its own shield. Where it was gashed, it healed. I grew as I explored the body I could trust, even while I adored the risk that made robust. A world of wonders in each challenge to the skin. I cannot but be sorry. The given shield was cracked. My mind reduced to hurry, my flesh reduced and wrecked. I have to change the bed, but catch myself instead. Stopped upright where I am, hugging my body to me, as if to shield it from the pains that will go through me. As if hands were enough to hold an avalanche off.
A Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears, and I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Cartoon Physics, Part 1, by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum. Galaxies swallowed by galaxies. Whole solar systems collapsing. All of it acted out in silence. At 10 years old, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation, that if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake.
Don't Bother the Earth Spirit by Joy Harjo. Don't bother the Earth Spirit that lives here. She is working on a story. It is the oldest story in the world, and it is delicate, changing. If she sees you are watching, she will invite you in for coffee, give you warm bread, and you will be obligated to stay and listen. But this is no ordinary story. You will have to endure earthquakes, lightning, deaths of all those you love, the most blinding beauty. It is a story so compelling that you may never want to leave. That is how she traps you. You see that stone finger over there? That is the only one who ever escaped.
Judges have reached final decisions, and again, I'd like to thank all of our judges and team today for helping. Can we give all of our judges and team a big round of applause? I'd like to congratulate all of you today for your hard work that brought you here, and I trust you found it a very rewarding experience. We all greatly enjoyed your recitations. You have done impressive work bringing these poets' works to life. So thank you again. So just a reminder, I will be announcing our 2 students who will be going on to the state competition, which will be on Friday, March 8th in Columbus, Ohio. So as I call your name, you may please step forward. We should have like a drum roll, drum roll please. So our 2 students going on to the state competition in Columbus are Scarlett Frischman and Anna Colley. Please join me again in applauding our new state finalists and wish them the best of